I don't ever have to call. She called me when she wanted. My back against the wall. On champagne and I'm blunted. I'm all the way gone. Couldn't tell you what I'm on. She's swinging on a pole and her body giving goals. Anytime you wanna ride it, let me know I'll be outside. Girl, your vibe is so exciting, shining like a neon light. She get me higher than Canada. I make her dance for the camera. She crazy, but I took a chance on her. Hopefully don't have to cancel her. Fortunate, so fortunate. Your love so deep and so warm. Get lost in it. Feel like I've been here before. Crazy body, you. Oh, part two. Deja vu. Yeah. Skin on, ankle. Shoulder, I will be your faithful soldier. Give me what's mine, take you closer. Can I save you with you? Stay true. I love it, you love it, the way that you move it, the way that I rub it, yeah. Can't get enough, I'm kissing and hugging, even in public. She the queen, I'm the chancellor. Switch up the beat and I sample. She killing it, know I can handle her. I'm drilling it, don't wanna damage her. Fortunate, so fortunate. Your love so deep and so warm. Get lost in it. Feel like I've been here before. Crazy body, you. Oh, part two. Deja vu. Deja vu. Deja vu.
Now, it was a quick little preview of our brother XIIM with Deja Vu. Definitely shout out my guy. Y'all already know what we here to do. It's your boy 215 Guy Beats, aka Streets, aka you already know this. We are here once again on the Let Me Rap With You podcast, and I am definitely glad to have my brother here.
There we go.
You already know. I already know the audio is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know that the audio takes like a couple minutes to tap in, but you already know. I still get the people warmed up and everything, but I'm still, getting used to this live streaming stuff. Still trial and error, but aside from all that,
can you hear me good?
I can hear you perfectly, bro.
Awesome.
Man, I tell you, man.
I'm see myself a little bit better.
Yeah, for those who don't know, and we just got done playing Deja Vu before our brother came in. My bad.
There we go. I can see you.
Yeah, it's good gas smoking. But yeah, definitely shout out. We got, and if I'm saying it correctly, bro, please correct me if I'm wrong, but we got our brother XIIM in the building.
XIIM is in the building. What's good?
Wow, I actually got it right this time. Man. I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here the whole time like I am going to get bro's name wrong and it's going to be bad, like it's gonna be awful. So, but I'm glad we got that out the way, and but honestly, bro, before we even actually get into the story and origin, I actually want to give the podcast like a little catch up because it's actually kind of funny how our story somewhat came about. So. I'm going to give the podcast fans a little backtracking. For any of those who are a fan of Sunny, yeah, y'all remember Sunny all the way back from season 3. But for those who remember, we had one of the best episodes. And it's so funny because we had that episode and we ain't never seen each other in time. Then luckily, thanks to, some work that I've been doing for people, I wound up. And shout out to Dirty Politics, shout out to Guardian Say Hi, shout out to all them. I ended up at the Great Day Fest doing some work out there. And for the very first time, I actually met Sunny in person. Because it's funny, a lot of people thought that we already knew each other in person. We actually never seen each other in person prior to that podcast. As much as I knew her history, that's why she called me the Black Narwhal. Because she didn't know I knew so much, but that's just what I do. But in the midst of that great time, meeting her for the first time, I met my great brother right here.
I'm listening.
Honestly, I had to smoke one because it's just so great to just see where where things just go. Like, because from the Great Day Fest, and Sonny definitely vouched for me. Like, he is definitely the next one you need to have on your podcast, and I definitely made sure that I kept my word on that. And we got brothers
I've been a fan of Sunny for a long time. I met her at a contest where she got second place, but a lot of people felt like she won. But the guys that won, they did a good job too. They had like a whole dance routine and stuff, so they kind of hyped the crowd up. But I met her at this contest with my boy Prince Alexander, and since then I've been following her. And then when I dropped my Stalker video, I wanted to have her be the co-star in that video. And I think she did an amazing job at capturing what that song was all about, capturing the audience. You know what I mean? I wanted a face and a personality that people would just instantly fall in love with, and they'd be rooting for my character in the video. Like, yo, I hope this works out between these two. You know what I mean? So she did an excellent job as an actress. She's a brilliant musician. I've always been a fan of hers, and we actually started making music together. So we actually have a song that I wrote, but she performed, and she really put her own spin on it and really did a great vocal performance of it. It's called Nina's Whisper, and that's out now on all streaming platforms. But yeah, Sunny has connected a lot of great people, and I've connected her with with some of my folks too, and it's always a blessing. You know what I mean?
To be honest, and it's so funny because I actually just had a chance to listen to Nina's Whisper last week. I did not know you were the one that wrote that, and you definitely give Sunny her credit on, because the one thing I definitely give Sunny her credit for that a lot of people don't, she has a great creative directive mind, and like she will always put great input when it comes to like a project. Even if she's not like the main person of the project, she will always put in like great value to the
Absolutely. And that's really why I chose her. Experiment with this lighting. Let's see if that goes. That's really why I chose her as an actress, because like you said, not only did she look the part and was able to to perform on screen, she had a lot of great ideas. She's always been a visionary. You know what I mean? I trusted her vision, and she actually helped direct a couple of the scenes in that video. So we got even more contribution than just the look and just the visual performance. We even got some creative input, and that's just a testament to her talent, her creativity. You know what I mean?
For sure. But honestly, I want to actually cause honestly, I'm like a comic book person when it comes to artists. I gotta trace back to the beginning of XIIM, like childhood, where did music even start for you? Like even before we came across, before Sunny, even before you dropped your first single, where did music just start for you?
Well, I got bit by a spider while I was at band practice. So I've been bit by a few spiders actually. So I grew up around music. My mom sings. My dad is like a drummer and a composer. So I grew up with just people around me doing music. My uncle was a producer. I got a cousin that he auditioned for American Idol. He sings in the church all the time. You know what I mean? So it's like I was around people who performed, and I didn't think of myself as very musical. You know what I mean? I knew I had rhythm, but I didn't think of myself as very musical. But I started writing poetry when I was real young. And then I started writing raps, but I didn't think of myself as a rapper. But then someone challenged me. I was in the 8th grade, and someone was like, "I can rap better than you." And I was like, I don't think you know who the fuck you're talking to. So I wrote a little rap, you know what I mean? And we started battling, and I was doing these rap battles when I was in 7th or 8th grade, and I realized that I had a gift, and it wasn't just that I had bars, but that I was an entertainer. I remember the moment that I did it click for me, some guy laughed so hard that he fell down and rolled down. He rolled down a flight of stairs. It was bleachers, so it was plastic. So it didn't hurt. He didn't get hurt, but he like rolled. This guy was rolling down the bleachers, laughing at something that I said. I dropped a punchline like boom, and I was like, okay, I have something that I need to harness. And so I was rapping, and then I started getting into some artists like like Nelly, 50, Eminem that was harmonizing. So I started doing a little bit of that, and I started singing. And then I started getting into rock bands. So I would rap and like sing a little bit, and I'd be with a rock band. And then one day I decided, I'm gonna pick up a guitar and I'm gonna take some ownership of my sound even more than just, if I'm with a band, I can kind of tell them, hey, play this, instead of dealing with a producer, where it's kind of all set. But then once I grabbed the guitar, then I could customize it even more. And then through that, I met a lot of brilliant people, and probably the most influential for me and my sound. I mean, there were just so many, just too many names. But the one that I've been working with the most lately is my boy Ishmael. I don't know if you've heard of Ishmael, but
Oh no, you definitely we've had some DMs and you've definitely spoke of Ishmael. Definitely shout out to him.
Yeah, big shout out to Ish Music, man. He's so brilliant. He was the guitar player in my band, and then he went to audio school, and then he went to video school. And so now I could come to him with an idea like, hey, there's this cool music concept, just a hook, you know what I mean? And then we can build all the way out to the final edit of the video. He's got the technical skills, and I got the vision, and we've come together and collaborated on some really great stuff. And I'm super excited for what we have to bring together as a partnership. We just getting started, you know what I mean?
Man, for sure. And honestly, I gotta take it back to your previous statements, because I really have to say, and the only difference that I'll say is that I don't have a guitar. I haven't played the guitar, so I won't take that part. But just music and influence and how we grew up, I can definitely say is one and the same. 50 Cent was the reason why I even rapped in the first place. Nelly, I started listening to bands like Nickelback, Lost Prophets. Honestly, I was just all around with really just like the music that I listened to, and that's why even me, when I was rapping, like harmonizing was just like such a big part. And even going back to poetry, because I'm not trying to like offend, and I've had my rap battles where I've won and I've lost, but when you're talking to somebody that knows the art of stanzas and haikus and stuff like that, who can basically take the art of rhythm basically to a whole nother concept.
Yeah.
It's a whole different story than you just trying to be a rapper and make words rhyme.
Yeah.
Or even a singer. It's like in the same concept. Like, it's just a whole difference when you're coming from a person who did stanzas, haikus, writing lines and rhythms and different concepts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the foundation of writing a poem that with no beat, no, you know what I mean, and without even, at that age, not even a whole lot of inflection. I didn't even have like swag at that point. I didn't have the delivery. I just had words where if you read them on paper, they have a rhythm to them. You know what I mean? If you just read it on paper, they have a presence. And because I started with that foundation, everything I built off of that was strong. And so learning how to play guitar and learn the structure of music and learning how to, make beats and learning how to, everything that came after that was like, it was kind of easy to learn because I already had something to say and I knew how to say it. You know what I mean?
I feel that. My friends used to ask me when I was rapping, why are you so good with making songs about girls? That came from poetry. When I used to make little love letters and shit for girls and all that shit, I used to fucking rhyme with stanzas and shit. And what pushed me to really be better with that shit was it's funny. We're actually in February. We're talking about this shit. It was one Valentine's Day. I think I talked about this on the podcast recently. It was this girl who I've had a crush on. I'm curious to say this was probably 4th grade. I've had a crush on her probably since 1st or 2nd grade. Always tried to go at her. Never tried to give me no play, this, that, and the third. But I was going at it though. Man, you a kid, so I was like, you don't give a fuck. You gonna take your shots and miss. You feel me? But what really like peaked it and told me and made me like, man, I'm gonna really be a Mac at this shit. I made the letter but we had two different classes. But I was cool with her best friend, so it was like a class period where we had like a break. I seen her friend; she was about to go see her at the classroom and shit. So I'm like, yo, go, can you get us some and shit? She's like, cool. Because me and her was cool, so she didn't mind doing it for me. I think 10, 15 minutes later, she came back and I said, what happened? She handed me the same letter I wrote her, ripped into 4. Ripped into 4 pieces.
Why is she so mean? Why should do you like that, bro?
I don't know. I be want, and it's crazy because my mom even knows like this girl. I be wanting to ask my mom, she's like, why? Like, damn, like,
Why, mama?
You could have at least just said no. Like, I would have took that a lot better. But damn,
Fuck this poem.
like you could have just said no. Like, damn, that hurts.
I remember the first time that I felt like my poetry really, really had an effect on women. Like, I was always, I was doing my thing, but I actually did a poetry competition. I did a slam while I was going to Howard, and we did it at University of Penn. So I got to go back home, you know what I mean, and represent I got to represent Philly from DC in Philly. It was cool. And we did a good job. We didn't win the whole thing, but we went far. We got some good scores. And I was basically just kind of taking my songs and making them into slam poems because I hadn't really been writing a lot of poetry like lately. So I just was taking my songs, just kind of slowing them down, and you know what I mean, hitting them with a little rhythm, with a little inflection, breaking it down a little bit.
Almost like spoken word.
Yeah. And I met a girl there, and it's just like, it was like this instant love connection, and we were just like doing poetry to each other, like we was just like spitting poems to each other like all night, and it was like I felt like, when you give a piece of yourself to the art that's so pure, you know what I mean? It's artistic too. It's sort of in these boxes that are very pleasurable to hear. You know what I mean? You kind of have a structure where it's like. It's like a dance. It's very pleasurable to hear and very pleasurable to witness, but it's comes from a place that's so pure. It's like people can get to know you in an instant. They listen to something that you wrote that's really real, that's really you, and it's like they know your whole vibe. You know what I mean? So that sometimes like when it comes to women, it's like kind of skip the whole getting to know you phase because they heard my song and they're like, I know what type time you on.
Honestly, I could probably say my first love, it was probably like poetry and letters throughout the whole shit. I could probably definitely say like that's where a big part in a lot of like my riz for like poetry or women came from. I mean, it definitely was before her, but like when I was with her, then it was like that's where I started saucing. So it's like, yeah, I started saucing with that shit. So for me, it was like honestly, but I'm gonna be honest. I feel like poetry and spoken word, those are essentials that are like really keeping like true like soul and like R&B alive, because I feel like, see, when I grew up to R&B, I grew up to the classics, and then I'm a 90s baby, so of course still in its pure during that time, even going into like the early 2000s. But even going after that, I feel like it started going more industry and not really more so about the art. So, I just feel like it's just like certain essentials that keep it alive.
Absolutely. I mean, the scene in Philly with the poets and, the dancers and the singers, it's like, you're right. It's the industry has kind of pushed most hip hop in one direction. And then, then you have the Drake effect. You know what I mean? I love Drake. There's no shit against Drake, but it's like when he came in and started, like kind of singing, you know what I mean? All the R&B cats wanted to be Drake. You know what I mean? So, and all the rappers wanted to be Drake. All the R&B cats wanted to be Drake, and everything kind of started to become one genre of just like, of like these flows and this auto tune, these melodies, you know, it all became one. So we've had a lot of creativity come out of that. But at the same time, we had a lot of the R&B cats drop like the soul and the romance and just go straight to like, you know, trying to go straight pop with it. But when you go to see live music, you know what I mean? When you go to some of these jam sessions or some of these like, you know, poetry open mics and stuff like that, where you have live bands and you have people really being vulnerable and bringing out, bringing out their true self, whether it be a beginner or somebody that's really seasoned. Like, I think that's one of the things that really keeps the scene alive and pumping, is that we have this cross between like the poetry and the live music that brings a lot of different kind of creatives together. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be completely honest, and I agree with that, because I fell off of R&B. I want to say probably in high school, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
But once I started listening to Sunny, she was like the first artist to really make me like start to like R&B again, because like she just takes the art to another level. Aside, and we had talked about it in the podcast, like she doesn't really listen to a lot of like the radio that's out there, and I'm not a fan of radio. I agree, because like you said, everything is going more so pop than, you know, more so being about the art.
Yeah, but you know what? I actually have made a shift. I feel like I was really trying to go pop in a number of ways. I mean, I wanted my music to be popular. You know, I wanted my music to be something that people would play at an NBA game. You know what I mean? Or NFL game. But like, I was kind of trying to come in sideways. Like, let me do this rap rock fusion thing, kind of like Gym Class Heroes, kind of like what the Roots were going for at times. And you know, I had some success with it. I got to play a lot of shows, and I got to create this atmosphere, you know, this culture around myself. But it's like, I think more so now, I'm on this new R&B wave. You know what I mean? People like cats like Bryson Tiller, cats like, you know, Tory Lanez, cats like, even though, like I said, like it's kind of starting to converge into the rap world, it's innovative. They're doing interesting stuff with it. You know what I mean? And I take a lot of that rock background that I have, you know, and he takes like a little bit of that jazz background that he has, but we've been making stuff that like I play it for people of all backgrounds. You know, I play it for people who've barely ever left their block. You know what I mean? I also play it for people who've been traveling around the world their whole life because their parents take them to Italy, or their parents take them to, you know, to the Bahamas, or to, you know, some fancy island. That's like, I've been able to make something lately that's like, I feel like it's captured more hearts and minds, because I'm not trying to go against the grain as much. I'm creative, but it's like, this is the wave. This is what's happening right now. You know what I mean? And just by, I think the biggest thing that we changed is like the sonic experience. It ain't even just like, oh, we gonna make it sound like everybody else, like the same flows and the same melodies. It's like, when that 808 hit in some of my newer stuff, you know what I mean? When that 808 hits you right here, you know what I mean? That's that feeling that people crave. You know what I mean? And you know, since we've sort of stepped our game up with the production, me and Ish, like the response that we've gotten is just like, I think we're ready. I think everything that we've been creating lately is ready to go. Actually, my song I played on the radio last night. I don't know if you got the memo.
You had sent me the post last night. Definitely.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, it wasn't the first time I was on the radio. Actually, first time I was on the radio, I was in a go-go band back in DC when I was in college. But you know, he gave me a little intro, my song played, and I was just like, it's just happening, man. People are, you know, people are people are not only embracing the music, but I feel like they're putting it in the same category as a lot of the people that I look up to. You know.
Honestly, bro, the one thing I will say is that it don't matter who it is. Like, even the person that you wouldn't think can make an impact. Because I'm gonna say it like this: like, when I was going through your catalog, when I was doing my research, when I seen the video for Run,
Mm.
I was thinking one thing, and then once I started really seeing the concept of the visual, my mind just flipped. I sat there like, oh, okay, that's okay. That's where that's where this is going. Okay, like
Let's talk about it though. Like honestly, tell me, because that video was kind of the first my first like real commercial release. I had a marketing team. I was doing this. Now I was hiring influencers. It's like this was
you
probably my first
definitely had a great
strategy.
team behind you when it came to that one, because
Yeah,
the choreography, the scenes, the setouts, just everything put in order. Like, I can definitely tell that there were great people behind this project, because aside from the actresses, aside from everybody that was in the video, I'm just sitting here like, I'm thinking it's gonna be like you talking about just running back to you. So I'm thinking, it's gonna be on some love like type shit. And then once the video goes where it goes, and for everybody, I'm not gonna spoil it too much. Y'all gonna have to go watch the video. I'm gonna make
yeah,
y'all go watch the video. But all
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna say is that it's gonna take a turn, and just
I like that.
I see why you want to run. I see
Yeah,
why you want to run. That's
yeah,
all I'm gonna say.
and you can also see why I run. It's like I run away, but you can also see why this cycle is so likely to continue. Why I run back with the same intensity, because there's this seductive power that's like the same thing that scares me might be the
Yeah.
thing that I'm addicted to. It might be the thing that like for some reason I can't live without it. And that shit is real, man. But I like that you mentioned that you're into comic books, because I feel like comic books are the new mythology. You know what I mean? Like we have the religions of old when people kind of told stories about miracles and this and that, and people had superpowers, Hercules and Gilgamesh and all that. Now we have Spider-Man, Superman. You know what I mean? Now we have, and we could take the Spider-Man story and remix that genre and give it Miles Morales. You know what I'm saying? And give it a whole different twist. So I think about everything in layers. I think of everything in layers of storytelling. So we have the metaphors, we have the actual thing that you see on screen. We have what it implies. We have the words, the melodies. All of these things are stacked up to create this experience that's taking something that I've been through, taking something that impacted me in my life, and giving you a full picture of it, not just the fun part and not just the negative part, but like a full picture of like,
Nah,
why was he so in love with this?
you giving the whole. You're not sugarcoating it. You giving
Yeah, and
the
this shit is real. And then you could even look at it another way. It's like I like what you said. It's like you could see why I run, but you could look at it in another way. It's like maybe, just maybe, that's who I belong with. And it's just my own fear that's making me believe that she's the enemy, because she's unearthing my insecurity. You know what I mean? Maybe her challenging me in certain ways make me think, well, this is evil. But
see
maybe
now.
just
See,
like this is another way to interpret it. Just maybe like what she's trying to do, what I hate that she's trying to do, is that she's just trying to make me better, and I'm scared. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes art can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. Sometimes a relationship.
the way that I'm interpreting your breakdown of the art, you have the parachute so she can catch you, but you're
Mm.
in fear, so you run. But once you run back to her, you become her stalker. Is that where I'm starting to break it? Is that where I'm starting to break down the concept? Because
That's crazy. Is It's actually brilliant that you put it together that way, but the story was told in reverse order of that. So it's,
So I basically death note the situation.
yeah, yeah. So it's like you reverse engineered it. So Stalker was this infatuation with this person that you really don't know, and that's kind of why I use the word stalker, because it's like, you ever watch the show You
Yep.
on Netflix?
I'm still getting into it. I haven't finished it yet.
It's hilarious. I love that show, but it's like the
But
thing about
it's kind of creepy though. Like I had to sit there.
you know, absolutely. It's like we don't want to be like that guy, but it's entertaining. You know what I mean? But the thing about that guy that makes so much sense to the viewer is like the stalker is obsessed and completely in love with this person that they don't even fucking know. You know what I'm saying? You watching her from a distance and you think you know everything about her. You ain't even been up close enough to like really experience her. So that's what the stalker has. The stalker has this image in his head that this perfect person is just just out of their reach. So stalker is like that cautiously falling in love, like, you know, not knowing how much is too much because you might scare her away. That's kind of like the vibe of stalker. And she's feeling the same thing. Then Run is like, okay, you know this girl now. You've seen some of the same things that attracted you to her are like start to become like deal breakers because you're like, damn, this is like, she really liked this. You know what I mean? So Run is when you kind of realize that you are with a person who is equal parts light and darkness. You know what I mean? Equal parts seduction and repulsion. You know what I mean? Equal parts love and just disdain. You know what I mean? You get to know motherfucker. You start to see that they have the capacity for both in extreme degrees. You know, and so I run back. I run back. The same intensity I run away, the same intensity I run back because I have to get away from her, but then I long for her, you know. Parachute is part 3 of this arc, and Parachute is like, this is gonna kill me. Like, this is not sustainable. I love you, but I love me more. And in order for me to survive, I have to jump out of this plane. Now, when you're in a plane, I've gone skydiving before. This shit it blew me away. When you're in a plane, it's like you're safe because you don't feel how fast you're going. You don't feel how high you are. You just feel like you're sitting down or standing up, going to the bathroom. Nothing in your mind tells you that it would be okay to jump out of this plane. And that's how it feels to leave an abusive relationship or a toxic situation, whether it be a job that drains your soul or whether it be drugs or whether it be a relationship that's just killing you. It's more scary to leave than it is to stay, even if you know you're going to die if you stay on that plane. So it's like you have to face your fear. You have to face the thing that you're afraid of, which is jumping out into the open air and hoping that you make it down safely. And that's why I said I think I need a parachute because I know I have to jump in order to survive. But if there could be something to cushion my fall, I might make it down to the make it down to the ground. So, and now we're in a new arc with Deja Vu. It's like approaching love with a little bit of caution and a little like a dash of cynicism, but a lot more optimism and a lot more just like I understand my past, but I'm willing to. It's deja vu. It feels familiar because I've been in love before and I've been hurt before, but I'm willing to put that aside and experience this. I'm willing to put my trauma aside for a moment and experience this because life is short. That's kind of where we're at now, story wise. You know what I mean? But it's interesting that you reversed it. I didn't. I never thought the story reversed, but that's how stories are. Stories can be very dynamic, you know.
And it's so crazy because deja vu, like I kind of understand that because like that's where I'm at right now with it, and it's just for me, it's just like to be honest, like I said, I don't want to put that on the next person, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's you know I found myself trying to find the same person out in the world, the person that hurt me. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, I probably hurt her more. You know, that's probably why she retaliated in a way that just destroyed my heart. You know what I mean? And it gets even more scary when like you start turning the person into your past. That's when you know you need to heal. When you meet somebody and you start transforming them both in your mind and their behavior because you're molding them. You start trying to recreate. You know what I'm saying? You start trying to turn them into your ex. That's when you know you got to do some trauma release, man.
I know. Look, I'm gonna say it like this: I have no shame in my game. I have been there, and I have no problem to say like it's just. I'm gonna just say I'm glad I'm in a place where, like, I'm definitely like over that. So
That's good.
I'm just glad that I'm in a place where like I'm not putting the next person to the last person or the last person to the next person or like I said, like it's a lot, but and everybody in the world we've had our faults, and trust me, I've had my wrongs too, so I ain't perfect. But I'm definitely like
last relationship I was in, this girl just asked me, she said, "Who hurt you?" And I started thinking about it. I was just like, I've been through this thing that I'm like, this thing that I'm projecting on her. It's like, I've been through this so many times. I'm trying to think of who hurt me, and I was just like, where do we even start?
It's not even who hurt. It's just, it's more so, how do I say it? It's more so like it's just where our mindset is. That's what I'll say. It's just where our mindset is.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say. It's definitely just, really just so the mindset really just, honestly just, and it goes for both sides, like men and women. It goes for both sides. Like, it's just a factor of just, how do I say it? Kind of like, just getting over the last factor. It took me a long time to realize that shit too. So I'm not.
So what did you? And this is just you know, you can answer this any way you want, but like, a lot of people listening are just like, damn, I've been in the same boat, and I make music for people who experience real life the way I do. You know what I mean? And so I don't sugarcoat. I talk about my story, talk about my journey. And a lot of people might be in between. We getting up to this Valentine's Day season. So a lot of people are alone. A lot of people are in abusive relationships, and they're just like, let me just get through this winter. But I think most people in the dating pool, I would say, have been so damaged by somebody or multiple people. It could even be trauma stemming from their parents that it keeps. What I want to ask you, because I feel like maybe you've been there and grown. Is like, what are some of the things that you do actively, not just talking about it? You know what I mean? But what are some of the things that you actively do to rid yourself of those things so that you can think clearly and love more fully? I think the whole audience.
Well, the first thing is taking accountability for where you was wrong at previously and not just pointing it to the last person, because that's something that, you know, we always sitting there like, oh, I went through this because of this or this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, we make choices, and it took me a long time to learn that, you know, we can just like make a better choice. What I do is just go out, and like you said, like, and for people who do music, so like, and creative, so like, this is definitely a great, you know, exercise for them. Like, just go out, go to events, go network with people. Don't even. Oh, they got the bikes out today. Don't even go out with the mindset of like, oh, I'm looking for somebody. Just go out, go with some homies, you know, or like go to a concert, a venue, or something, a small joint, local joint. You never know. You might wind up seeing things, or you might not, and then like, trust me, like, they got like these. Trust me, I've seen homies. I got homies that be putting me on. They be having these little match sites and stuff. I mean, you can try them every now and then. You just gotta be careful. I will say that. You just gotta be careful. But don't let that be too much of your like priority. Still go out. Still like do stuff for yourself. Because what I definitely did in my time of like being by myself, I got back to the things that I love, like getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh card collecting, just getting into merch that I like, and just connecting with brands that I like. So that's something that, like just getting back into the things that I like to do. Like, and honestly, in my situation, even before being by myself, I wasn't really with somebody who stopped me from doing that stuff, because I can honestly say I'm here now because of that. Because I wasn't with a person who was trying to stop and do all like, oh, you're not doing this, that, and the third. I wasn't with that kind of person. So in my situation, I could say it was a little bit better. And then, unfortunately, we had to split. Did that hurt? Yeah, of course. But there wasn't too much like bitterness or anything and all that. And like I said, it's just taking accountability for just, knowing, where you was wrong at. Don't even sit there like, oh, she was wrong for doing this, that, and the third, or whatever, this, that, and the third, because that's not going to change anything. So.
I like that. I think I've experienced that, what you said reminded me of something that I went through. It was like, I was real broken up about a relationship. I feel like I feel like me and this girl just like really broke each other's hearts. And I feel like I started it. But the retaliation I felt was a little was a little more.
I could take my accountability on my side that I started it.
Yeah, but I had to do a lot of soul searching during that time when I was alone, and I had to figure out, how to prevent that in me in the future. And like you said, taking accountability was the absolute first step of getting over it, because it's like everything, I was haunted by it. I was haunted by it not working out and my role in that. And then I started taking myself out on dates. It was hard at first, because it was like, this is the type of thing I would want to enjoy with her. So I didn't even want to go out. But one day I just decided, like, no, I'm going to do exactly what I want to do. I'm going to go exactly where I want to go. And I went to this concert, and we there, and that was cool. But it wasn't even like we ended up together. It was just, I got that feminine energy that just reminded me that, like, when you go out and put yourself out there and have a good time, sometimes the right people are just gonna, there's gonna be an energetic match. Because when you go and do your favorite thing, when you go to the things that you really enjoy, you might fuck around and find an energetic match for you, because they're there for the same reason, because they want to partake. They're looking for a release. They're looking for the kind of experience that you're looking for. You know what I mean? Whether it be volunteer work, or whether it be, just getting a second job, whether it be anything that you do that puts you in the zone that you want to be, you might find someone else that wants to be there just as much. And at least you have that to connect on. You know what I mean?
I respect that. And honestly, and even in my, like, because I can be honest in, like, what I'm currently in, like, are there options out there? Like, yes, but, like, to me, like, I don't call it weighing my options. I call it let a person be themselves, and then whoever your heart flows to the most, that's what you try to work towards. You feel me? Because, of course, once you go through the split and all that, and you're by yourself, I mean, of course you're going to have options, especially you going out. You're going to have options. But, I mean, just have your set of standards, but don't try to put that on the next person. Let them be them. Because honestly, to me, that's like to me, that's like one of the main problems with, like, our generation today, because, like, people have their standards so much of this, that, and the third, but they don't let a person just actually be themselves and actually just see what they have to offer as a person themselves. You feel me?
Yeah, and I feel like we live in a world where, like the whole stalker thing, it's like you can watch somebody from afar all day, every day, and you can think you know them because you read their little motivational quotes and the books they like to read, and you get to see them dance, you get to see them, in the bikinis, and you get to see them on vacation. It's like you could be in a relationship with a real person who loves you, who like loves you down to your bone marrow, and then be on your phone like, wow, what if I had her? Like she likes this thing as much as I do. Like maybe she's perfect. And it's like, we live in this artificial world where, we can obsess over a motherfucker that we never met. And we might meet this person and just be like, this was just an illusion. So you got, when you got somebody real, you got to cherish that. You know what I mean?
Man, all I'm gonna say is like that is true, but still be careful because I've had my time with cherishing somebody, but they don't really, you know. I don't know. It's like certain things in life just can't be answered until like you just go through it.
Yeah. I mean, so now I got to think about what I'm going to release next because I feel like I've been telling this story and we kind of have it all planned out, like how we're going to tell the story, you know what I mean? But then when I release this song, I feel like the effect that it's had has sort of made us adjust. It made us think, okay, not only was I really feeling this next part of the journey, but because of the response I've gotten, I'm like, ooh, the story actually, the response that I've gotten is changing my personal story. You know what I mean? Like my personal life is changing because of this song. And the effort that I put into pushing this song has changed my personal life. So now it's like, oh shit, what we release next has got to follow this up energetically. It can't be the same, you know what I mean? But I'm already kind of got the gears turning. I need to get Spuzz off this song first, you know what I mean? But I already got the gears turning. It's just like, what are we gonna put out next to build on the story we've created? And I like trilogies because I think that 3 is a very sacred number. That's why I named myself XIIIM. The X being in front of it makes it 13, and I feel like 13 is a very powerful number. You know what I mean? Like you got 12 disciples and one Messiah. You know what I'm saying? You got 12 months and 1 year. And the reason why people say that 13 is bad luck is because they're not ready. They're not ready for the step that's above the land is still connected. So like you take a look at the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill, it's old Masonic symbology, it's Egyptian symbolism. And the reason why there's an eye on top of the pyramid that's separated from the rest of the pyramid, but still part of the shape, it's like the 12, because a pyramid is like 12. There's 3, a triangle over a square. So it's 4 triangles. 3 times 4 is 12. So you got this structure of 12. And then on the top of the structure is something that is both part of it, but also separated from it. And like, like Jesus said, I'm in this world, but not of this world. So it's like at the top of the pyramid, you have this influence that is being guided by something that is heavenly, that is something that's above the earth, but it's still rooted in the earth just because it's a part of the shape. You feel me? It's that like I was really stoned one day and I started really concentrating on what numbers mean. Why is 3 such a powerful number? You know what I mean? You can make a stool with 3 legs, not with 2 legs. You know what I mean? But 2 is very powerful too because you can walk on 2 legs. And you got day and night. You got yin and yang. 4 is a powerful number because you can make a box and you can build on top of things that are boxed. You know what I mean? It's like every number has an identity that just by its own nature, it is part of God's creation that makes it special. And so when you look at stories in 3s, beginning, middle, end, you know what I mean? It's like I like that I'm working on a full length album that's going to be 13 songs. You know what I mean? 3 arcs, 3 different trilogies. Oh no, I'm sorry, 4 arcs, like a year. You know what I mean? You got January, February, March. Then you got the springtime, April. You know what I'm saying? June, July. Then you got you know what I'm saying? April, May, June.
It's so funny because like you're talking about the number 4 in arc because I literally just finished the anime of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 and the whole concept was like basically these I'm not gonna go deep into the concept because I want Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans like who haven't watched it yet to go watch it. But in the moral concept, the dimensions that were basically like split, it was split into 4 dimensions basically, and like basically one person was trying to like bring it all back together and stuff. Like it's crazy, but like just like, and the whole concept of like pendulum, like the swing of like back and forth, good and bad, up and down, like, you feel me, good and evil, and so much, like, it's so much of that. And I'm not saying, like, I really get deep into anime, so like when I say like a lot of that like really just kind of like exists like in the concept of what you just said, if people understand it deeply like I do, like I kind of like just seen that.
Yeah, man. It's you know, when we're telling stories, we got to remember, like, I think the whole art of mythology is like understanding human nature, and people have their own scripts already. People are born with a script. You know what I mean? Like, we kind of have our own instinctual understanding of things, understanding of leadership, understanding of pain and struggle and family and love. We kind of have these things sort of built in. And when you can understand how to tell a story that resonates with people's instincts, that's when you really got something, you know. And that I try to create that with everything I do, is thinking like, how are people gonna see this with clear, like, with clear, like an infant's eyes, you know what I mean? How are people gonna see this with their instincts, not just the culture or what's hot now? Like, how are people gonna see this on an archetypal level? You know what I mean?
Man, that's crazy. But one thing that I definitely want to ask, out of all things, when it comes to your guitar, like, because a lot of people, when they choose their genres, like, what really made you like choose to fall in love with guitar?
I would say probably first and foremost Jimi Hendrix. I'd heard some of his music in passing, just, you know, it was just part of the culture, part of pop culture. You know, you might hear it at a football game, you might hear it on the, you know, at the mall. But then I heard Jimmy.
Bro, like, honestly, like, it don't matter how you. I'll say it like this, in the U.S., I will say. I'm not gonna assume for other countries, but you know how we grew up. No matter how you grew up, that shit was around.
He had such big songs that it was like I couldn't not hear it, but I didn't really get into it until I was like a teenager. And so I remember we were dropping off my brother for college. It was his first day of college, and, you know, we had the radio on, and then this song comes on, "Wind Cries Mary," and I recognized the voice, but I hadn't heard that song up until that point, and I was just like, ooh. I was just like, that kind of sounds like that Jimi Hendrix guy that I, you know, seen and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, my dad had his biography, so I read his biography. I got really into the music. I got into Led Zeppelin. I got into Grateful Dead. I got into, you know, a lot of the like classic rock bands based on Jimmy. And yeah, I mean, I love classic rock. I love Sublime. I love, like, there's something very powerful about the guitar. Plus, it's an instrument I can sit outside and play and sing. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really do that with the keyboard all the time. I could just go to the park with my guitar and sing and put a hat out, or just no hat, just sing, just to get some fresh air. So it's a cool instrument for, like.
I will say you are the first on the podcast to have your guitar.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I was just down here like practicing, and I thought, you know, maybe let me throw something more and get a little spiffy, but yeah, because I'm about to go on the road. If someone's picking me up soon, I'm going to New York, and then we're flying out from New York to LA. So I want to get a little.
And that was actually one of the main things I wanted to talk about, because LA is definitely your second home. I definitely been paying attention to, like, you know, the videos, and like, and I will say like this, honestly, before we even talk about the LA trip, your unplugged performance, for Parachute, bro, I'm gonna say it like this: I've been watching the unplugged version so much. I will be all honest to God with you. I have not watched the actual video.
Oh really?
I've been enjoying the unplugged version too much.
That's what's up. It is a very, very special performance.
My thing is, once you perform it live and it's better,
yeah,
I don't even want to hear I don't want to hear the song no more. That's my.
I think you'll also like the song because the live performance came from the passion that I put into that song. However, I totally understand. That was a very special day. There was a lot of I was going through a lot. I went through a lot before that song was written, and that's why I had to put my experience into that song, and I was going through a lot when it came time to do that live recording. And I think it comes out in that performance that there's this confidence and this bravado, but the bravado kind of comes from the fact that I died and came back to life. You know what I mean? Like I've already experienced death, and that's why this shit doesn't scare me anymore because I had the worst moment I could possibly have, and since I survived that, then fuck it, nothing scares me. That was fun. And my boy Pancho, shout out to Pancho on the keyboard, and he got Encore podcast. He reviewed a couple of my songs on there. I did a review that day as well. I just reviewed some people's songs. That was fun. Yeah, like the way he interpreted my song on the piano, and we did that was like the fifth take. So the first couple of takes we was kind of getting used to each other, but by that last take, he was like, I think we're good. I'm like, let's just do one more. By that last take, we had this chemistry where he understood the pain points, the inflection points, the parts where I was really kind of, you know what I mean, kind of like emphasizing, and he just did such an amazing job on the piano. I'm really proud of that recording. That was fun.
I'm gonna just say it like this, ladies, beware. I'm just telling you.
I think the lady, you know.
All I'm gonna say is I'm just glad I ain't have a girl in the house while I was watching.
Bro, one time, so I used to drive Uber a lot, right?
Yeah.
Quick way to make money, and I was promoting my music while I was doing that. So it's like every person who got in the car, hey, would you like to hear a song? I play it for them, and I've gotten connections off of that. I've gotten shows off of that. I've met chicks off of that. You know what I mean? And it's like the reactions that I've gotten playing my music for people in Ubers it was a big confidence boost because it's like total strangers from every slice of American life, whether it's somebody commuting to the dollar store where they work, or whether it's a whole family going to, a plane so they can, go to Dubai, or, you know what I mean? Anything in between. Every slice of American life I got to see in the back of my car, and they got to hear my shit, and I got to get a real-time reaction. And I swear to God, this one dude, I played my song for him. He was like, yo, bro, you could fuck my bitch. He's like, I don't even mean like you have permission to fuck her. Like, I want you to fuck her. It's just like, bro, if she heard this shit, she would need the draws. And I was like, okay. Thank you. I ain't trying to fuck nobody's bitch. I'm a gentleman. But,
Lord, so help me God.
It was just a surprising compliment. I've also had a lot of people. This for me is a high compliment. It's not, I don't think that it's awkward when people say this to me, and people say like, "Oh, I'm gonna play this for my girl. I'm gonna fuck her to this tonight," or like, "I'm gonna play this for my wife. Get her in the mood." I'm like, "See, that's
okay. So I'm not gonna cap. I'm not gonna cap. When I heard Stalker.
Whoop. It got your loins going.
Let's just say I got a playlist, bro.
Yeah.
Let's just say I got a playlist. All right?
That's what we aiming for. That's what we aiming for.
And my podcast fans know I don't cap on nothing, and we live streaming, so they know I'm not lying. I got a little playlist now, bro. I sat there like, yeah, I might have to scheme.
I'm gonna get real honest since we just putting stuff out there. I'm gonna just put it out there. My brother texted me. He said his girl asked him if it would be awkward for them to make love to my music, and my response was no. I mean, that's what it's for. Like, I would rather you do that than anybody else, for real. I mean, no, that's getting a little weird, but you know what I'm saying? Like, if my music isn't good enough to be included in your love making, I didn't fucking do it good enough. You know what I mean? I need to go back to the drawing board. So anyway, and I let him know, like, he's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I let him know, like, yeah, I took my girl to one of your fights, and this shit was so exciting that we took that energy back home. So yeah, if I'm on your sex playlist, just put in some good strokes for me, and I'm glad that you get to enjoy it in that way. I hope my songs get to create a lot of great love making memories. You know what I mean? My DNA gonna swim its way somewhere into a whole generation.
Somebody probably done already had a baby too.
You know what I'm saying? There's a little stalker baby out here crawling around. Putting anything they find in their mouth. Stalker babies everywhere.
Look, bro, I'm just gonna say it like this. I've had a lot of R&B stories, but like, wow, like that's insane. I ain't gonna lie, like that's insane. Like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, and like this is why, like, and I told myself, like, when I was in high school, like, I was a big Trey Songz fan. I told myself I'll never take my girl to a Trey Songz concert.
Well, you're like, why are you so excited, girl? Close your eyes. If you don't close your eyes, just imagine it.
I'll buy you all the goddamn merch you want, but you ain't going to the goddamn concert. That's actually what I did for like me and my first love for our 3rd year anniversary. When I bought her, like, when Chapter 5 came out, I bought her like the poster, like the deluxe album. Like, I bought her like the whole jar.
Oh.
I'm like, yeah, you ain't going to no concert.
Yeah.
Because I knew he was on tour and I knew he was coming to Philly. So I had to, let me just spend all this money now.
But the goal, I always feel like when I'm on stage, like I was saying with my brother's fights, like when I'm on stage, my goal is to get the girls so excited that their man reaps the benefit, so that they both want to come to the concert. You know what I'm saying? I get both of them. I ain't out here trying to be an adult, take nobody's woman.
See, I'm gonna keep it a beam. The hipster girls, like niggas who got the hipster girls. Oh God, do it. I swear to God, bro. Like, that's like I'm telling y'all, all my guys who got them hipster girls out there who just love music all around. Like, I'm just telling you, bro. And you know what's crazy, and it's crazy, like, when we're talking about concerts, like, it's so funny. And I wasn't the one with the guitar, so, like, I'm not gonna put her name out there. I got respect for her. I'm not gonna put her name out there. But it was a female guitarist that I met out here in Philly. Like, while I was it was a night I was supposed to, I did perform. So, well, actually, no, I don't think I was supposed to perform this night. But somebody didn't wind up showing up, so I took their slot. But I was the doorman, like, throughout the joint. So, like, I was just collecting all the money and shit. So when I was hanging with her, she was all thinking, like, oh, I'm just the doorman and shit, trying to get at her, or this, that, and the third. I said it like, okay, I got you. Just watch. All right, I got you. So, luckily, she went before I did. And I'm not going to lie, she kind of starstruck me with her performance. Talking about classic, down-to-earth, natural afro. Ooh, brother. Yeah, I'm going to say, it's as real as it gets. It's as real as it gets. It's a lot of y'all out there, so trust me. It's not going down to the bare minimum. But I think I performed after 2 other people, and then she didn't even know that I was performing. So after I did my set, I went back in that damn crowd. Her jaw dropped. She said, I didn't even know. I said, it's okay. Like, you ever just, like, went to a performance and had a girl who underestimated you, like you wasn't going to put on that show, and then when you put on the show, her jaw just drops?
I had a moment where we dropped each other's jaws and draws. So I met a girl. She was kind of interesting looking, so I sat down next to her. start talking over a beer or whatnot. Just saying hello, just being polite, cordial. Then she got on the mic. I was like, God damn. You know what I mean? She comes sat back down. I was like, you're a total fucking rock star. Like that, like what? Where did all that come from? Then a couple people later, I went on. And I just saw the look in her face. You know what I mean? While I was on stage, and I was like, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
I was rubbing my hands together like Birdman.
Oh no! When you do the Birdman, the Birdman rub, mm-hmm. Like that's for sure, definitely. Like, but man, one thing I'm gonna say is like I'll tell you, like it be those type of nights that be the funniest. Like, and before we even get to what's going on currently in LA, like have you like what's probably like your, I'm not gonna say like best night in LA, but like your most memorable night in LA?
That's easy. I mean, I've had so many great nights in LA. But the number one is a club called Davy Wayne's, which I had been to before.
I've heard about Davy Wayne's, yeah.
Right off the street from Hollywood Boulevard. Always have a great time there. And a couple of my friends flew out from Philly to come visit me there. And we all went out to Davy Wayne's, had a great time, danced all night, and it was just, that was February 2020. It was like the last great weekend before the Armageddon. You know what I mean? Years of masks and mandates and all this other bullshit. It was like the last great, moment of society. You know what I mean? Before all this other shit happened, and I will never forget that night. But oh man, so many great nights in LA, man. LA is a place where if you're looking for party, if you're looking for intellectual, if you're looking for nature, if you're looking for, like the hippie vibe, if you're looking for the corporate vibe, you know what I mean? The entertainment, the showbiz vibe, writers and producers, it's like, there's so much to experience in Southern California. I fall in love with it every time I go, you know?
Like I always tell my friends, my life goes either two ways. My podcast will be one of the biggest things in the world, or I will be on No Jumper. And right now, my podcast is kind of where I'm looking more so. But honestly,
what was the other option?
Being on No Jumper, which is my favorite podcast.
Oh, No Jumper. Oh yeah.
Shout out my guy Adam22.
Yeah.
And shout out to Josh. That's why. Those are the two that I kind of like, especially with Josh, because like me with the podcast, like I do literally everything by myself, like the computers, all that sitting over here. So like I definitely understand, like it's not easy. I've been through trial and burn, like, but still, it's like it's something that I really enjoy doing, having conversations like these, like, and now that I'm able to live stream, it's just even greater. Still going through trial and errors. I know, like sometimes my computer still goes through the trial and error with live streaming even during, but I still enjoy it. I still go through it because it's like it's just what I love doing, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, you know what? I actually gotta go. I got some business to attend to before I head to New York tonight and then to LA tomorrow. But if you don't mind, I could break y'all off with a little performance.
Break it off, my guy. He's giving y'all some flavors before we go to LA, y'all.
And this is the song that started it off. Shout out to Prince Alexander and my man Kilo the artist for the genesis of the song. I actually started writing the song with them, which is a random studio session that we had. And this song just kind of changed my life. Just kind of changed the whole trajectory of my career. It just brought a lot of energy towards me. And I'm right here. Whatever you got for me, I'll take that off you. Let it all out on me, just like I taught you. As long as you call my name, I'll never falter.
Loving you got me feeling like a stalker. I want you every morning, afternoon, and night. If you believe in me, I have to prove you right. Can't even look away, can't lose you out of my sight. Swear it'll use you out of my life. You can never you know, help you so deep. I can never move on. You can never leave. That's what you know. Help you so deep. Tell me how you feel it. Then I'm paying less attention. You've been asking way too many questions. When I stare at you, see my reflection. When I stare at you, see my reflection. Everything you want to know, got right away. I ain't like these other working night day. Disappear for days and war just like play. Take a trip to Paris in a butterfly. I've known you long, love you so deep. I can never move on. You oh, you love you so deep. Tell me how you feel. Want you every morning after night. If you believe in me, I have to prove you right. Can't even look away, can't look out of my sight. Swear they don't use you either. Sweet news. Sweet news.
Man, definitely, y'all got that right there, man. Y'all see what we done. Definitely shout out to Brother Sim, man.
So I'm traveling. I'm gonna be playing live in LA. 2 shows in LA. One on February 10th. One on February 14th. Valentine's Day. Got a little break to see the Super Bowl in between, and then we're heading to Vegas for February 16th, and then after that we're doing New York February 19th. So I'll be back in town in Philly on the 20th or somewhere close to that. So yeah, I've been traveling with this burlesque group called The Sweet Spot, doing my music thing with them. They got dancing girls, they got comedians, they got erotic poetry. It's a real grown and sexy, sensual, very classy vibe. It's very nice, it's very cool. They got contests, and you know, you can get up on stage and dance competitions and stuff. It's a real cool event. I'm really proud to be a part of it. So that's one of the things that's bringing me out to LA for this season, and it feels good to be going back to the West Coast working. You know what I mean? Because when I left the West Coast, I came back to work. You know what I mean? I came back because there was more work on the East Coast than there was on the West Coast as a musician. And now that I'm coming back to the West Coast triumphantly, you know, doing these sold out shows and get to see my friends again, I'm just so grateful for this moment. So, you know, I gotta run, but thank you so much for having me on your show, and I'll definitely have to come back.
For sure, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to anybody who came in and watched. Shout out to Brother Zim. Y'all already know it's your boy 215 Got Beats, aka Streets, aka Mr. P, aka you already know this. You already know how we do. Let Me Rap You podcast, sponsored by No Rival. Shout out to Fire Life. Shout out my boy High Regards, who's rolling up this crew Lotto. Shout out to my guy Fidels. Shout out to Tenko. enjoyed ourselves today. Got a great performance. Enjoyed a great conversation. And ladies, y'all know where he's at. Y'all know where he's at. So, you feel me?
Ladies, I'm married to the game. I can't be your Valentine.
I'll say it like this. I'm talking about for the shows.
Oh yeah, for the shows, yes. Please come to the shows. Bring your man.
And ladies, please don't be scared to bring your man with you. Like, I'm gonna say one thing: don't be scared to bring your man with you, because some of us enjoy the great music of R&B too, especially when it comes to great brothers like him. So don't be scared to bring us. Don't be scared to pay for a ticket, cause you never know where that might end up. You know. So that's all I'm letting y'all know, ladies. Just giving y'all the last tip of advice before we get up out of here.
Fellas, if you come to the concert solo dolo or with your boys, you probably are going to meet somebody who's already primed and ready to go. You feel me?
Yeah, but I will say it like this: 9 times out of 10, they might have a man too. Most girls I know that go to R&B concerts, like, trust me, I've tried.
I mean, most beautiful women got somebody on deck. You know what I mean?
Or somebody's.
You never know.
But yeah, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, my brother. And we about to be out of here, bro. You be safe, all right?
All right, man. Y'all go. Peace.
You too.